when you're ready. Take your time.
Well, it's on now, Cammy. Hey, everybody. I am Revengeance, and I am here tonight with Cammy O. We're going to start teaching her what she's missing from the books. So tonight we're, a lot. Yeah.
I'm a non-book reader, y'all. Can you hear me?
Oh, yeah, we hear you. We hear you tonight. Yeah. You want to go ahead and say hi, Cammy?
Hi, everybody. Hi, bangers, and all the people in the Game of Thrones community. I'm a non-book reader, so tonight Bree is the maester, and I'm the acolyte that knows little.
Yeah,
I mean, like everything Bree's going to be talking about, I know nothing about except the White Walkers. The White Walkers I know about. But the Long Night, let's just start there, Ree.
Yeah, I got a question. Go ahead.
What the hell is a long night?
Yeah, and she really did ask me this, and for her to be watching Game of Thrones for 7 seasons and to literally say, what is the long night? I was like, okay, we need to start talking for real. So that's why we're going to call this the Acolyte Series, and we're going to start teaching her a lot more and talking a lot more. So, yes, we will start with what is the long night. Okay, Cammy, about in the Game of Thrones universe, about what they're saying, it kind of varies, but we're going to say it around 8,000 years ago. There was kind of a darkness that fell just over everywhere. Like, it was the long night. It came. And you hear Old Nan is talking about it, actually, back in season 1. It lasted a generation, and the snows came, and this was the first time that the White Walkers came. Now, in the books, they're called the Others. So when you hear people talking about the Others, that's what it is. Now, it lasted a generation. It was this big, massive winter, and all these people. It was scary. I mean, everything that we're building up to now that is coming is going to be the long night coming again. Now, it supposedly has come more than one time, too. We know that it has occurred more than once. That was the first time it came, was about 8,000-ish years ago. Now, what they did to end it was called the War for the Dawn. That was when the children and the first men came together, and they kind of did the whole pact came about, you know? The children of the forest. And now that's where it gets kind of confusing, because people aren't quite sure exactly between the pact and when the White Walkers were made. We're still a little confused there, I guess. Or I'm confused a little bit there. Maybe someone else can help out with that one. Because, you know, it's like the long night came, but then the pact happened, I guess. But, and, okay, now here's something that you need to understand. The children of the forest were not all for the first men being there, okay? And they had sex, you know, like you would any other, you know, civilization, you know? There were groups of them that didn't like other people.
Okay.
Tribes, let's say tribes. I don't know how to quite, okay. Like, let's say Leaf and her little group was one group, and they were like, no, screw them, we don't like them. But the other ones were okay with the first one. So it's kind of like they're the ones that decided, all right, we're going to make the White Walkers. And now we see on the show that they were made as to defend against man. So, I mean, that's kind of where it gets a little confusing. Now, we have a tale that's also told to us about the Bloodstone Emperor and the with the Amethyst Empress, and it comes from White or Yeti, and this is kind of something that I believe is probably what brought in the long night. And the Bloodstone Emperor worshipped a black oily stone that fell from the sky. And there was a blood betrayal that happened, and it involved the Amethyst Emperor. She was usurped. Okay. her brother, the Bloodstone Emperor, usurped the Amethyst Empress, right?
The Amethyst Empress. I like that.
The
That's
Amethyst. Mine too, yeah. February birthdays. Okay, and this is over in Essos, okay? So we're gonna drop back a little bit here because we don't hear a lot about this. This kind of is lingering throughout the books, and I'll tell you, a great person to go and listen to for a lot about this stuff is LML, Lucifer Mingman's Lightsbringer. He has a lot of great videos on this. But okay, now we have. All right, there's the Lion and Knight. I want to mention these three people: the Lion and Knight, the Amethyst Emperor, and the Bloodstone Emperor. And the reason I want to mention these three in particular is because I think they're going to be important as far as when we get into season 8, as far as the show. Because you are a show watcher, so it's just kind of something that you need to,
But I'm a show watcher that realizes 6 episodes. I mean, how are they going to fit everything in 6 episodes just from what we've seen from the show, much less this stuff you're talking about from the books? I mean, I'm pretty sure they're gonna say something about the Long Night because I just keep hearing about it, but I don't know if I'm hearing about it.
The Long Night is coming.
It's coming.
Yeah, it's coming again. That's why I want to explain this part a little bit to you again, because when you think about now this tale here is the Bloodstone Emperor he usurped the Amethyst Empress. Okay. Now, they were like brother, sister. This is one of them situations again, all right? And this was over in Essos, but far over in Essos, okay?
Okay.
Like, we're talking like past Ashai and everything. We've never seen this far over. And, all right, the Lion of Night, the Faceless Men actually believe that this might be another version of the many-faced god. The reason I want you to remember.
Heard about the many-faced god. That's another thing I've heard about, but I know nothing about.
Faceless men. Faceless men. That's the Faceless Men.
Okay.
Many-faced god. What do we say? What do we say to the god of death? Not today.
Not today. Not today.
Right.
What do I say?
When you think of that?
Talking. No kidding.
yes. There you go.
That's all I care about. Please be back. I hope Jockin's back on season 8, but okay. Go ahead. Continue.
Even if he's not, I don't think we're done with the Faceless Men. We're definitely not.
Yeah, no. I know. We're not done with this.
Yeah, and the reason I bring up the Lion and Knight in particular is because it is mentioned in the books that on the Broken Tower there is some, let's see, I'm trying to think of how to explain it to you. Some kind of stone effigies, sort of what appears to be lions on the Broken Tower, like where you would have gargoyles and stuff up around the top,
Uh-huh.
You can tell that there was lions there. Now, the Broken Tower and the crypts are the oldest part of Winterfell, okay?
Okay.
Okay, so the fact that there is any kind of lion where the dire wolves are in any kind of way is kind of a little important, all right? Now,
okay, wait. Are you saying we're going to see a lion now?
No. I want you to think of lions in this way because I want you to keep this in mind. Just put that in the back of your mind right now. I'm just telling you this for information purposes, okay?
Okay.
Just follow me for a second, all right?
All right.
So I want you to think of the Lion and Knight in regards to Lannisters.
Exactly.
Now, when you think of the Amethyst Empress, we are reminded of Valerians. Amethyst Empress in particular would be Daenerys. The maiden made of light turned her back upon the world, and the Lion and Knight came forth in all his wrath to punish the wickedness of man.
Whoa, that sounds deep.
Yeah.
Okay, keep going. This is interesting.
Yeah.
I just love this. This is my way of knowing about the books without actually having to read them. Or listen. I've got 4 audio sets, and everybody's like, "You haven't listened to them yet?" It's like, I can't sit still for 3 hours and listen to nothing. I'm sorry. I can listen to you though. Okay, right?
I know, and I love talking to you about it because you actually get really interested in it. I love it. I love it.
Okay, so
But
where were you?
okay,
You were talking about Daenerys is where it left off.
yes. So we're thinking about Daenerys, and we're thinking about Lannisters at this point. Okay,
Okay.
Lannisters being lions at night. Okay. Now we're going to think about a blood betrayal because it's very important because the blood betrayal is what brought in the long night. Okay. Now, all of this story that I'm telling you, the reason I'm telling you about them right now, I think you've probably heard about the Five Forts before. Have you heard that? Do you know about the Five Forts?
What do you think? I've heard about them,
Okay.
but no,
Okay.
it's a
That's what
no.
I'm trying to see.
Negative.
How familiar are you? Okay. Now, in SS also, there are five forts, which are kind of lined up like they would have been a wall or lined up like a wall. Now, they're also made of the same black oily stone that we see all over the place, like at the base of the high tower. I'm going to just totally brain fart now.
Oh no.
Okay, the oily black stone is everywhere. The oily black stone is kind of crazy, and there's a lot of theories out there on what is it.
Yes.
Is it fused by dragon fire? Is it fused by the mages from Valyria? Is it plastic? I've heard that one before, and that's actually kind of a very interesting theory. But
I didn't understand. What did you say? Is it plastic? Is that what you
yeah,
said?
no,
Okay.
I've actually heard that theory. If it's plastic, like a nuclear winter sort of thing, if Game of Thrones was post-apocalyptic and it's actually plastic. Preston
Okay.
Jacobs has a really good theory on that one, a video. Go check it out. I always tell you to watch Preston Jacobs. I'm telling you.
I know a lot about Preston Jacobs.
Yes, I need you to go watch him. I'm telling you, he's got good videos. But the
I
five
can't wait.
forts are there.
Game of Theories with Marie starts making videos again, or we're just gonna have to get her on the panel.
Yes, Marie would be good on here talking about the five forts too. I know.
Yep.
And
Lady
the oily stone.
Wilkerson.
There's also oily stone at Harrenhal, at the bottom of Harrenhal. They were talking about that and Fire and Blood too. So
Okay.
yeah, which kind of makes me think that it does have something to do more with Dragonfire. And me personally, that's what I'm more inclined to think. I don't know about others. Chat, what do you think the oily stone is? What's your opinion, guys? And I see you over there. Hi, Marie. Hi, Elmar. Hi, Jen. Hi, Carrie. Let's see who
Hi,
else we have over
CD.
there. CD. Hi, CD. I seen you first, CD. Yeah.
Yeah, CD, first one here.
Yeah, that's what I said. I seen it.
Yes, hi, CD. Hi, Marie. Hi, Elamar. Hi, Jen and Carrie. I hope y'all are still having fun, girls.
Anybody else I miss? Hello. So the
And
five
thank
forts
y'all
are
for
over
being
there. Yes, thank you so much for joining us. But yeah, give us an idea what you guys think the oily stone could be.
Well,
I'd love to hear.
What's the oily stone, first of
Yeah,
all?
the black oily stone. It's just stone that is found all over the world. There's maps that you can see of the known world where you can see all the different spots where it's at even. It's really interesting. But the five forts are made of black oily stone and they're lined up like the wall. It kind of appears like they were set up as defense against something as well. And it's, I think, pretty commonly believed that they were as like another defense against others or something like that as well. See, Marie thinks it's from a meteor is my thought. And that's a really good idea too. I like that one too because like with the Bloodstone Emperor, like I told you a moment ago, Cammy, I was telling you this earlier, he worshipped a black oily stone that fell from the sky. So yeah, that's really good.
You think that's going to be in the show? This black oily stone?
Oh, it is in the show. It is.
Oh, it is?
Elamar says, I'm thinking it is the Pope's apocalyptic stone. Yeah, I like the post-apocalyptic theory. Like, I was like, that sounds crazy. And then I watched the video and I'm like, that sounds totally right.
Well, when Marie said from a meteor is my thought. Because they do show, remember they showed that meteor in the season 1? Remember? It was in the
Yeah, when we had the comet. Yeah, it was actually the first episode of season 2 when we had the red comet going across the sky.
right. Okay, the
Red
comet.
comet means
There was a comet, not a meteor. Never mind.
yeah.
See?
But here's the thing: where did the comet go? We never seen it fall and actually hit anywhere. So did it just go on by? That's another random thing.
Well, and then Yara, was that her name? Yara says, when there's a comet, that means there's
Asha.
Dragons.
Yeah, Asha.
Asha,
Yep, that only means one thing.
So maybe that's all. That's the only reason it was there, just to let us know dragons are on the way.
Yep.
And maybe we'll never see it again. So.
And right. Well, and it actually has appeared before, Cammy. There was one whenever Rhaegar was born, and
yeah,
I believe when Jon was born was the other time. But there has been a red comet a couple other times in the sky. They call it the bleeding star when it does that, actually. But it's not the first time it's even popped up. So, yeah, they look at it as sun, but they always say dragons. But they associate Targaryens with dragons as well. So, back to the long night, though. So, we are looking at a blood betrayal to bring in the long night. Now, we know the long night is coming in the final season.
Okay, whoa. Let me stop you there. What did you just say? The blood betrayal?
Yep. The first long
blood
night.
Bee?
Yeah,
blood there's going to be. Is that what you're saying, blood bee?
There will be a blood betrayal.
Blood betrayal. Okay, that's new. That's new. Never heard that before. What the hell? What is a blood betrayal? Sorry, book reader.
I don't even know. Just even a blood betrayal, like you just. Oh man, just how do you even just explain? You just go against the blood and betray somebody.
The next stream you can explain the blood betrayal. Okay, Terry.
Okay, well,
wait. Who said somebody?
I'm trying to think of a simple explanation. I'm trying to overthink it.
Okay, yeah. Carrie says oily stone is so many places. The 5 forts are made of it. Base of Hightower, etc. Definitely came to Earth from space in some way. So, yeah, people know what you're talking about.
Over. Yeah, it's all over. But the blood betrayal. Okay, now this is how I'm thinking of the blood betrayal. Okay, I'm going to try and explain it to you in a way like I think it could possibly happen. How about that? Okay. The way I would think, like back then, the way that it happened with the first long night was you had the Bloodstone Emperor who betrayed the Amethyst Empress, who was his sister. So blood, they're related by blood. He betrayed her and usurped her, right? And crowned himself Bloodstone Emperor, which ushered in the long night. So he betrayed his own blood.
Okay. Wow.
Now, he was a really bad man. A lot of really bad things happened under his rule. Bad guy. Bad guy. He's a whole nother story. He would be a whole subject on his own. We're not even going to start talking about the Bloodstone Emperor right now. Because I just wanted to get into what started the long night, okay? But that was our first long night, okay? That's the one that happened 8,000 years ago-ish. And it happened then over the entire known world. Now, there's a lot of, this is where you get your Azor Ahai legends from, and all the Prince that was promised. You start getting all these different mythos that start coming from how the first long night ended with the War for the Dawn.
Okay. Wow, this is interesting.
Right. And like the Azor Ahai legend actually came from Ashai. And that was more from like the Red Priests and Priestess, the followers of R'hllor, Red Temple.
Okay.
Okay. And they do believe that he would be reborn. Azor Ahai would be reborn when the others return and lead the fight again. Right.
Okay.
So that's why Melisandre's like thinking Stannis and then thinks Jon, and that's Azor Ahai reborn. Blah 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 blah. Okay.
Because now I'm hearing they may not even be in Azor Ahai.
Well, there was a guy that actually lived and SS, and I can't remember his exact name off the top of my head right now, who had a very similar name. And I kind of am wondering if maybe somewhere it just got crossed. And he was the guy, and they just kind of turned it into their own little legend, so to speak, their own sort of prophecy, you know. I don't know. It could be, it could not be, you know. Now, there is something I would like to bring up that I found when I was reading The World of Ice and Fire that I don't think I've heard anyone really talk about. And it's in regards to how the first night first actually ended. Because a lot of people focus on the whole part about Azor Ahai and the hero, him being the one and all. Now, it actually does tell us that during the first long night that the Roin was, the river was frozen over completely, right?
Okay.
And which is the one that, you know where the Roinar is. Do you know that one?
No.
Okay. The Roinar are the people that Nymeria. She's Nymeria, which is Nymeria and her 10,000 ships. The Roin is the river that's in Essos that ends at Volantis.
Okay.
That's where the Dornish princesses came from. Nymeria and her 10,000 ships came from the Roin.
Oh.
And then in Dorne, you have the orphans of the Greenblood. They're like the descendants that still live in Dorne, but that's where they come from, this Mother Roin. Now, when they still all lived there, the Valyrians actually kind of got into it with the Voinar back in the day. Whole nother story again. But that's why Nymeria ended up in Dorne.
Okay.
She was kind of
one thing I know about Dorne is the show kind of murdered it.
yeah.
I mean,
Dorne
I know
is wonderful. Not on the show though.
Dorne was the bomb in the books, but not so much in the show.
I love Dorne. I watch the show and I'm like, what the hell happened to Dorne?
Yeah, and you're not alone. Book readers love Dorne things.
Oh yes. Oh,
I mean, I'm
yes.
Books, but I am a book reader fan. I'm a fan of you book readers. Yeah.
So okay, now the whole Roin was frozen over, right? Completely covered in ice, right?
Okay.
Well, we hear about that there was a hero. So I mean, that could have been Azor Ahai. We don't have a name, but there was a hero. It tells us it's in the world of Ice Fire, and like one of them little side notes, right? That there was a hero who convinced many children of Mother Roin, and it mentions the Crab King and the Old Man of the River. Now, we've already heard about the Old Man of the River, how he's one of the consorts, right? He's actually this huge, great, big old turtle, but he's one of Mother Roin's consorts. And Mother Roin is supposed to be like this water goddess, right? But got him to put aside their, arguing and whatever conflicts to sing a secret song that brought back the day. So from the way I understood it, it was the children of the Roin that were the ones that brought in the dawn by the song that they sang. And it made me think of like the children of the forest. But the way that they slipped that little part in there, it seems like that's how it happened there. So as far as the location where it was ended. So the whole Azor Ahai thing, I don't know if he was the hero that they're mentioning and that's where it actually ended at or not. But it's just a nice little slip in how they did it there, because right after that, then it starts talking about Azor Ahai and the prince who was promised prophecy, and it kind of just distracts you with all that. And we hear about other heroes too, like Eldrick Shadow Chaser, and we hear about Lightbringer and all that other stuff. And there's just a few different ones for the different cultures around. Kind of everyone has their own little version. But the long night did end with the War for Dawn, and we didn't have them. The White Walkers were gone for a long time. Now, are you clear on kind of what the long night is now? That was when they came, and it did last.
I was before, that's for sure.
Okay. So a little bit as far as where I was telling you about, I'm going to tell you more about where I was bringing up the Lion and Knight and the Amethyst Empress and why. Because of the whole blood betrayal. Where I think that could come in handy as far as season 8. Now, at season 7, we all remember the weird talk between Cersei and Tyrion that nobody's seen, right? And we seen that crazy look that he gave on the boat when he was stalking, right?
Right.
Okay. So that's kind of why it's important. Because a blood betrayal by Tyrion could be the Lion and Knight. We know Jaime's on the way up north. My hope is Jaime stops something before Tyrion does anything crazy, but I don't think it will. We see Dany as our Amethyst Empress here, right? She's already kind of been referred to as a goddess already. She already has. Because, okay, I don't know if you noticed this part, so I'm going to point this out to you. We're going to back up a little bit to season 1 when she's in the tent, just married to Khal Drogo. And she's learning a little bit about the Carthene history of where dragons come from and their myths and legends. The moon got too close to the sun. There used to be 2 moons. One of the moons got too close to the sun and it cracked open and 1,000 dragons pulled forth, and that's where dragons came from.
What? Whoa.
And then the 2 Dothraki handmaidens say, no, the moon is goddess. She is married to the sun. So we have the moon as a goddess, and that's what the Dothrakis believe, and that she is wife to the sun. And then we have the Carthene believe that that's where dragons come from. When the moon got too close to the sun, that it cracked, and the dragons came forth. Okay. Now fast forward a little bit to the last episode of season 1. Drogo is getting burned, right? His funeral pyre. Now he is called her sun and stars. He calls her moon. That's his moon, right? So she's the moon, he's the sun. The sun is being burned with the dragon eggs placed all around them. The moon wanders into the fire, so she's wandering too close to the sun. And what happens? The dragon eggs crack open.
Wow.
So that right there just had the Carthene legend just came true right there.
Wow. That is very interesting.
So that was the Dothraki and the Carthene legends they both were just proved true right there. And then we've had Dany say herself that she has magic. What of my magic? She said that in card. And we've seen her magic firsthand. And honestly, we don't quite know the extent of her magic yet. We haven't seen it full on. We've seen her with I guess we'll call it blood and fire magic going on, because she's went in and out of the fire. And yes, that did require blood. So we're going to call it fire and blood magic. But what else can she do is the question. We haven't seen what all. And I'm sure there is more.
Let me just say hi, Eduardo Milton, Amanda Kane, who came in. Hi. And thanks.
Yes.
Just to let y'all know, Ree is the maester and I'm the acolyte. She's learning me because I haven't read the books.
And yes, our Westerosi ninja, Milt over here, said all the old Empire of the Dawn Emperors were named after cool gemstones. They were. And yes,
I told him Amethyst Empress is my favorite.
Yes, I'm going to try a little bit later, once I get her a little bit more used to all of them, a little bit and smoother into it. I want to get into all of them with her and just what that could possibly
mean. You're going to have to do a stream on the others. I've got
notes, Milt. I've got notes.
Who the hell are the others? Marie said the others didn't bring the darkness. They invaded once the darkness covered the land. Who the hell are the others? But never mind. Don't get into that now.
Thank you for coming, Carrie. I understand you had a long trip home, honey. Thank you so much. We will talk to you real soon, okay?
Yes, Carrie, thank you for coming. Thank you so much for coming. And I'm sorry you
Yeah.
got bit. Take care of your hand. Her dog bit her hand. Ouch.
Oh man.
Ouch.
It does hurt. I know. She's got them little dogs too.
Thank God.
You wouldn't think it, but them little dogs got sharper teeth.
Well, that's true too.
Yeah. Marie says many of these stories are myth and stories, much like Arthur, Excalibur, and Wizard Merlin. Yes. If there was a Merlin, he would probably a druid and simply understood natural elements and healing properties. See, that's what I think that. That's where I think that Sam's coming in. I think Sam is going to be our Merlin. Because especially where you're saying probably the druid and understand the natural elements and healing properties, I think that's where we're going to see Sam going. He keeps talking about he wants to be a wizard, and he's already proved his healing with Jorah and with them books that he's got that he brought home from the Citadel. I think that's exactly where his path is leading him. I'd love to see his path lead him there.
What was that name you used? You think he's going to be our Merlin?
A Merlin, yeah.
As in King Arthur? I mean,
yeah. Like,
is that
be a natural element and healing sort of wizard, you know?
Okay. Oh, cool. So that means Sam just might make it. If I want to, anybody that makes it to the end, I want it to be Sam and Gilly and Baby. So yeah, I like that.
Me too, but I'm worried. I still kind of think that Sam will end up becoming a sacrifice. I don't want him to. Maybe just in books. Maybe just in books. Let's hope for just the books. But I just see so much in the books where he is referred to as Piggy, Sir Piggy everywhere, and I think his name's already been promised, and he's the prince that was promised. But the faceless gods
is written by D&D. We got to keep that in mind. And so Sam just might make it to the end for what dramatic purposes. You know what I'm saying? Like, what's that book that everybody's waiting on? It wasn't Fire and Blood. It's another one that all you book readers
When's
are waiting.
When's the winner?
See, so GRM is behind that one, and we know how he thinks.
I'll tell you what. In my opinion, I think When's the Winter has been done. I think he's probably close to done on A Dream of Spring, and I think it's all just timing. I think the reason he didn't put it out before Fire and Blood is because there's stuff in Fire and Blood we needed to know and understand first.
I think he's just waiting for the show to end before he puts it out. You know?
And I can see that too. But
boom, here's mine.
yeah. But there is stuff that was in Fire and Blood that we did need to understand. And I get that. So, I understand. I understand the way that he's putting them out. Now, I get it. But definitely I understand as far as the last season too. So I wouldn't put Dream of Spring out yet. Yeah. But he's got so many more characters and so much more going on in the books that it doesn't even matter anymore. If they can put whatever they want to in that last season, and he's still going to blow them away at this point.
Okay. I know. So those books I will read. I promise. I promise you. I promise you. Okay.
I'm going to get you reading more.
But talk.
Let's see. I am going to tell you about some more here. Oh, okay. Hang on.
Are you still talking about The Long Night, or are you going to now start?
Okay, yeah. No. I want to go back to what I want to finish that one thing I was saying. Okay, so for the new season, what I was trying to get at is, and like I said, The Long Night came, and then we got the White Walkers. So we need, because winter comes with the others. When I say the others, I mean the White Walkers. Okay?
Yeah, okay.
They bring storm. They bring winter. Winter is coming. Stark words. That's them. That's why.
Mm-hmm.
That's the whole point. The Stark words are a warning. It's to keep you ready, because to remind you that they are coming back. Winter is coming. Stay on the ball. Stay ready. They'll be back. So what's going to bring the long night, though, is the actual blood betrayal.
There's that
So,
word again, blood betrayal.
yes.
Okay,
Yes.
this blood betrayal you keep talking about, it sounds important.
It is that important.
I forget who told me, hint, hint, but
Now, if he made a
something
deal,
about,
now hang
I
on.
heard that Tyrion's going to be behind that blood betrayal.
Well, that's what I'm telling you here and now, sister. Okay. Now, if he went in there and made a deal with Cersei, and then he's supposed to do whatever, we don't even know what deal he made with Cersei, but we know he did something. And let's say he betrays Cersei. That's a blood betrayal right there. Because Cersei's his blood. He would be going against his blood.
Okay.
And if he betrays her in some way, boom, that's a blood betrayal. That could be what ushers in the Lion and Night. But
well, isn't he basically already betraying her by being the hand of Daenerys?
But not really. And here's the thing, too. Would it be a greater betrayal by him or Jaime?
Hi, BBM. He just came in and said, someone just said Cersei.
Oh, yeah, honey.
Don't get me started on Cersei. Since Broke is here, I'll refrain.
Oh, I love Cersei. I do.
Okay, go back to what you were saying.
Here, hang on. Let's let him blow some kisses at his woman real quick. Can you see her good?
Yeah.
He got his little Cersei love in there. I do. Okay. I love Cersei.
I know you do. You love Dany too. But I don't think anybody.
And I love Sansa. So I love them all, just different ways.
I don't think anybody loves Cersei more than Broke, though.
I don't know. I give her a run for her money. Because I understand. Man, I understand. If I was that bitch, I'd be the same way. I'd be blowing them motherfuckers up too. I do. I understand. I ain't mad at her at all. I'll be doing the same shit.
Okay, so go back to what you were saying.
Okay. But because it brings in, okay, and there's also a lot of Tyrion being mentioned and as a monkey's tail.
I've heard that too.
And where he's being referred to as monkey's tail is in relation to also Daenerys. And it ties back to all of the same war that we're talking about here with Amethyst Empress and all that. And all these old myths and legends that we're hearing. And, you know, and that would put him with Daenerys. Okay?
Okay.
So it would tie him to Daenerys. I'm not going to get way into that one right now. But that would put him with Daenerys. So we already know that he's with Daenerys, our Amethyst Empress, and we have a Lion and Night. We're going to have a blood betrayal.
You think we're going to have a blood betrayal in season 8?
There will be a blood betrayal.
Wow.
That's going to bring it. That will be what brings in the.
This is odd. This is the first I've heard of this. This is cool.
This is what we have to bring in the long night. The question is, who's going to bring it? Now, here's a very interesting thought. Sansa is a lion.
Okay.
She is still technically a Lannister.
She still is. That's right. She's still married to Tyrion.
So that could put her there too. Hey, Peter, how you doing? We got Peter Griffin over there.
Hi, Peter. Peter said shame.
Eduardo.
Well, Peter said shame, shame, ring, ring. Was that towards me?
Oh, I got that on my phone. Let's see if y'all can hear. I got it on here. Hang on, let's see.
This is the first I'm hearing about a blood betrayal. Sounds cool.
Can y'all hear that?
Yeah. You got a shame bell on your phone. That's hilarious.
It's real fun in the store. You walk around just going
ring, 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 ring. Wait a minute. Don't do it until I say shame, shame. Now do it.
Good night, Jen.
Stupid.
I'll IM you later, honey. Sweet dreams.
We're stupid.
Yeah, in Westeros, you don't need a consummated marriage.
Good night, Jen. Thank you for coming, sweetie.
And BBM, where you brought that up, I still wonder sometimes if Sansa's married to Sandor just because of that, because he was the first one to cloak her.
Yeah.
Whenever in the throne room, whenever Joffrey had her clothes ripped off, and Sandor went over there and dropped the cloak over her, because that's really what makes the marriage, right? It's once they're cloaked. So wouldn't that be her first husband and kind of null out the other ones?
That sounds like a good theory.
Good question. It's a good question. Yeah. Who's she really married to? But there was no septum or anything there to do the words, so that's the only thing that makes me go, maybe not, you know. So that it's just a good question there, you know.
It sure is.
But okay, so we just got a big question of who's going to be the betrayer, but we know it's going to have to do something with a line. Now, with how Tyrion's been acting and Tyrion's being shady and him talking to Cersei and didn't like the look on his face on the boat, you know, when he seen Jon and Dany. I mean, that wasn't just a creeper or a jealous look. That was I don't even know look. So
hi,
something ain't right.
Just came in. Hello, hey.
Oh, hey, you.
So, if Tyrion, I see Tyrion betraying, but is he going to betray Dany or is he going to betray Cersei? But for this blood betrayal you're talking about, that would only happen if he betrayed Cersei. And there has to be a blood betrayal to bring in the long night. Do I have that right?
Right.
Oh, yoo-hoo! I got it right. So then I would see him betraying Cersei.
Now, wait a minute. Here's an interesting thought I just had. When we were talking about Sansa, what if it is Sansa and we're all waiting to go see who kills Cersei? What if
I
it's
could see
her
Sansa
going?
You know, I used to not be a Sansa fan whatsoever. She just pissed me off. But season 7, she finally came into her own. So all the crap Sansa's been through, I mean, out of all the characters, I think Sansa's been through the most. They've all been through their share of shit, you know. Sorry. But Sansa's been through, she's finally coming into her own. So I could see Sansa, you know, because remember how she kind of stood up to Jon in episode 1, season 7, when she, you know, remember kind of tried to put him in his place, and he like let her have it. Don't talk to me like that. You know, I'm the king.
Yeah, basically. That's the one I started on when I turned the TV on today. That's where it was on that scene.
How weird. Kreskin moment.
Okay. Where was it? David said, "Well, damn, Hound and Sansa, I approve." And then Peter Griffin said, "Jaime pretty much betrayed Cersei by leaving as well." Yeah, but we didn't get the night then, did we? We didn't like turn night quite yet. And I'm wondering if it actually has to be blood drawn or something. That's what I'm wondering. Sansa won't betray her family, no. But as a Lannister, if she was to go to King's Landing, let's say her and Arya take a nice little trip down there, and say Arya Cersei for her, and blood betrayal, and then she usurps Cersei and takes over the throne. That could be a nice blood betrayal, right?
It sounds like it, yeah. This is so cool. This is the first I'm hearing about a blood betrayal, and I'm surprised. I'm surprised this is the first I'm hearing of it, especially if you need a blood betrayal to bring in the long night.
Oh, I was talking. BBM is David.
Hey, is David here?
BBM is David, darling. He's a David.
Oh, okay.
Too.
I knew that.
Or Dave. Right. Dave.
Okay. All right.
I kept going back and forth. I was like, fandom, BBM, just David.
That's my little brother. Today's my little brother's birthday. Happy birthday, David.
Oh, happy birthday, David.
But anyway, so okay, go back to what you're saying because it's really interesting.
Okay. I just killed you. Or yeah, it could actually be something involving Jaime and Cersei directly, because if you think about, like I was saying, the Lion Stones on the Broken Tower, who were the two that were in the Broken Tower? It was Jaime and Cersei. So it could actually have to do with some kind of blood betrayal between the two of them. So maybe just him leaving alone. Maybe, or even maybe he might actually be going toward Harrow's Town, and he might actually still have the troops going there, the Lannister troops that he was going to meet there. He might actually have them still meeting them there and taking them north to fight with them and taking her armies, you know, or right. You know, that would be a big betrayal right there, right?
Right. Right. There's going to be a lot of betrayals. That's for sure.
Yeah. So which one will it be? But it's definitely got to be. Question. Yeah, it's definitely got to be something there. It
won't just be one, I don't think. There's going to be more than, you know.
And it definitely, I think, will be.
Euron's going to be betraying everybody he can.
I think Euron is probably more of a fit for the Bloodstone Emperor myself.
He's going to be what? Say that again? He's going to be
more of a fit for the Bloodstone Emperor.
That's another one I've never heard of. Bloodstone.
Yeah, we're going to do that one a whole another time, honey.
Okay.
Because I'd like to talk to him a little about him a lot more. Yeah.
We'll be doing a lot more of these streams, y'all, if you're interested. I mean, it's going to be like
we're going to be doing it regardless, because I'm going to start teaching this girl stuff, because, this is a lot of stuff she don't know. So, she's going to be learning. We're going to be learning Cammy some stuff. So, all right. So, you got a general idea.
I learned this word 2 days ago, acolyte.
Yeah, I know. She's like, well, acolyte. Okay, yeah, acolyte.
He said acolyte sounds so much better than apprentice. She's right.
Yeah.
He's right.
Well, they're actually called the acolytes at the Citadel, too. So, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Eduardo, John betrayed Daenerys.
The reason I'm not so much thinking that one, and I did a little bit, and then him being the Bloodstone Emperor, I kind of think maybe with that one, because of her being the Amethyst Emperor or Empress. Try saying that 5 times.
I'm sorry.
Amethyst Empress.
John before John betrays Dany. That's I'm sorry. I'm so not a Dany fan. I see that bitch betraying John. Sorry. There, I said it. I'm sorry, Ree.
Look, Marie says, look at Melisandre's words to Stannis. You will betray your family. You will betray your friends. Is blood betrayal in the show? Stannis burning Shireen. Same bloodline. Yeah. So she was trying to usher in the long night then. Now, that brings a very good, interesting, my mind just went. Thank you, Marie, for saying that. Okay. We got Mel went to the Volantis to bring people back. We know she's coming back with more red priestess, and hopefully the fiery hand.
Well, Peter said, do you think Mel's blood sacrifices were blood betrayals without knowing it? Okay, you know all about Mel. This girl is a Melisandre fan.
Oh, yeah.
So, do you think Mel's blood sacrifices were blood betrayals without knowing it?
No. I think they all had reasons.
Okay. So, go to what Marie said. Thank you, Marie.
Yeah. But inmates don't have access to the time. Mel, she makes mistakes. She makes mistakes sometimes because she gets signs wrong. But the mistakes that she does make are usually for reasons.
Right.
her mistakes are like she thinks she sees Arya because she sees a gray girl, and the mistake she's trying to help him. Oh, it's not Arya. It's Alice Karstein. You know, she misreads sometimes.
Right.
Everybody misreads things sometimes. That's
Maria,
her mistakes.
I can barely hear you. I hear your TV more than I hear you. Just saying.
Me? You can hear me?
Yeah, well, I hear your TV in the background over you.
Oh, baby, can you turn TV down just a hair?
Just letting you know.
Okay, yeah, keep me up. I like the old ladies.
Yay.
Yeah, I do. I love Lady O. Yeah. I don't know. I like the sand snakes. They're
I
going
know
right
you
bitches.
do. You know, you're not a fan of the sand snakes, but that's another. The sand snakes just did not get their. They were murdered in the show.
Literally, because they weren't done properly in the show.
The sand snakes were the bomb in the books, but not so much in the show.
Yeah,
you know,
Mel
I
does
didn't know much about the sand snakes or Dorne until I started talking to you and other book readers. Because as a
and then you find out so good.
Show only fans we just don't learn about sand snakes and Dorne. They just seem to be not important in the show. D&D murdered them. Basically.
Is it better now? The sound, guys?
Much better. It's been better. Go ahead.
Marie says, Mel does bad because she misinterprets visions. And she does. The visions are not always clear. You know, sometimes you see one thing, but you think it's another. Like when she seen snow, you know, she didn't understand it at first. But dreams are like that. Any kind of visions or dreams or anything like that, sometimes you don't always understand them at first, and then they make sense later. And she even says that and understands that, and she knows that. And it has to play out. Once it plays out, but they get so much pressure on her wanting to know right now, what's this, and she feels like she has to answer them so quickly that it kind of, that's why we end up with false answers a lot. But don't think that Melisandre is not the bomb at what she does, because she's going to blow you away, I'm telling you.
Right.
Now, speaking along those lines, let's bring up someone named Val in the books that you are very unfamiliar with, Cammy.
Yeah,
and
sure.
The reason I want to bring her up is because we're talking about Long Night and Winter stuff. Now, Mance Rayder, I know you know Mance Rayder.
Yes.
King of the Wildlings? Okay.
Oh, yes.
In the book.
Yes. And in fact, if I was in, Game of Thrones land, I would be a wildling for sure.
Right. Oh,
I am a wildling.
She ain't trying to read a book. That's why we're talking about it now, because I got to just explain to her before time comes for season 8. I got to try and help her out.
Yeah.
That's why we're doing these now. We're going to try and teach her some stuff.
Right.
Because, yeah, she didn't know what the Long Night was. So that's where we started.
These are the Maester Acolyte series.
Yep. The Acolyte series. Yep.
Acolyte. Okay. Acolyte.
Yep. The Acolyte series. So, okay. So Mance had a wife that was pregnant named Dala. And she had a sister named Val. And whenever they got attacked, when Stannis' army came in, Val went into labor. Or not Val. Dala went into labor. Well, she died. And having the baby. And this is when Jon had went out there to talk to, he was going to try and kill him. But Stannis' army came through, so he didn't even kill him or anything. But he was out there when Stannis arrived, and attacked the wildlings when he showed up at the wall. Do you remember that?
Right. Yeah, of course.
Okay. So Jon was there, and Dala died in childbirth. Val ended up with caring for the baby, which was Mance's son. And she went back to the wall with the rest of them. Now she's very beautiful, like honey-colored, white, blonde, pretty hair. They refer to her as a wildling princess. And there's a few people at least, but there's some of us out there that believe that she is a, let's say, a woods witch, for lack of a better word. That Val has some sort of magic. Kind of maybe the equivalent of Melisandre, but in an icy sort of way.
Okay.
We haven't really seen much of it. It's just the way that she is and her appearance and just sort of little odd behaviors that she has.
Right.
But we've met her. We've seen her. She's hanging out at the wall. Stannis actually offers Jon, when he offers him Winterfell and to be Lord Stark and all that and have Winterfell, he actually offers Val to him as well. So it is possible that we might have ice counterparts, at least in the books, to the Red Witches or Red Priestess. So we'll see where that's going with that.
Yeah, but on another stream, you're going to have to touch on magic because.
Oh yeah, I got a lot for you on magic, honey. Now let's get a little bit into all the other little creatures and White Walkers and stuff that are going on the other side of the wall. Ready for that? She's like, yeah. Okay, so when we had the darkness, that's when, during the long night, that's when the White Walkers came, okay?
Okay.
Now, we know now that the children was the one that created them. We know about the dragon glass going into the heart from the show.
Right. Right.
Okay, in the books, we haven't heard how they were created. We know that they have their own language that sounds kind of like clacking glass, like ice, something, it's just clacking sounds. If you go on the very first episode, you can actually hear it. And it's like you can hear them laughing, like cackling. And if you turn on the subtitles, it'll even show you on the subtitles so you know exactly when it's at.
Oh, really?
Yeah, and it shows it on the subtitles so you hear it, you don't miss it.
What does it say on the subtitle?
It says something like crinkling and cackling and something like that, but screeching or whatever, and you hear them, but you do hear them.
I'm going to have to rewatch it and turn on my captions.
Yep, on the prologue on the very first episode, season 1. And when with Will and them out there and Royce. So now we know that a lot of people think that the White Walkers are just a children's tale to scare everybody, right? They don't even believe they exist anymore. They believe that they exist thousands of years and there's no more of them. They're gone. Now, in the books, the others, as they're called, is more like another race.
The others, that is something I know nothing about. I've heard about the others time and time again, and I'm always like, who the hell are the others?
The White Walkers. They're the White Walkers.
Oh, that's all?
Yeah.
The others?
That's like, yeah.
The
others are the White Walkers.
White Walkers? Okay.
Yeah. And just like the children of the Force are also called singers.
Okay.
So those are two little alternative names that you hear. And so the others they're like a separate race. They're a beautiful race, actually. Like the Irish, what are they? The Irish I know I'm going to say that wrong. But they're in Irish language or Irish mythology, but they're beautiful like ice creatures. I mean, really, they're beautiful. But you can look them up in Irish mythology and see pictures of them and all. I'm going to send you a picture of one later. Is what they're supposed to be like and look like. And so they're not even like the ice zombies like you would think. Like they kind of made them look a little more scary and rough. on the show than what they would be in the books. They're more mystical, I guess. Now, the whites, they turn the whites. Those are just dead bodies that they raise. So they're like Worgans sort of thing, you know?
Okay.
Those are ice zombies. Just call them ice zombies. That's what whites are. Just animated corpses.
Okay.
Yeah, the others are the ones in the back of the plane. Almost. Yeah.
Hey, you. Hey, you the trip.
Yeah, he is. And
Gotta love
so,
him.
yeah, right. And now there's a lot of people that wonder too if they actually, and I'm one that kind of is on board with this. Like, I think, hey Al, Happy New Year.
Hey, Al.
If they,
Hey, Al. Thanks for being here.
right? I like, because I think that the Night's Watch was started by the others.
You think?
I do.
Makes sense.
It does. The Night's Fort would be ruled by the Night King and kind of to guard, to keep them out of their lands, the lands of always winter.
No, oh gosh, not to cut you off, but since we're talking about the Night's Watch and all that, because I'm Team Night King.
You know what? I'm there too now anymore. It's like I'm just,
I mean, I don't know that it'll be Team Night King when D&D for the show. I don't know that they'll be Team Night King, but I know GRRM is all about the Night King. But I'd like to know, since we're talking about the others and where they came from, where did the Night King come from? Let's talk about that. Where did he come from? How, I think the Night King is a Stark. Am I wrong on that?
I think everybody thinks it's a Stark.
Okay, so how did he become a Night King? Did they choose that? Or to me, the Night King is kind of enslaved in that corpse body. Like he was turned into the Night King and he doesn't really want to be, but he's stuck.
Maybe when they stuck the dragon glass in him.
Maybe the Night King, when he's finally conquered and dies, he'll turn into a human right before he dies. Oh.
And see, this is something we were talking about. Well, we talked about this other night. What would be the point if they did remove the dragon glass? What would be the point of that? Would he just turn back and die, or would he get to continue on his life thousands of years later?
Right.
So, what is the whole purpose of even getting it out, or is that the only way to just undo it, to kill him like a mortal person?
Oh.
Al said children of the forest turned him into the Night King.
Yeah, I was going to tell you that in a second.
That's basically what you had said. So, okay.
Yeah, whenever they stabbed him with the dragon glass, that's whenever they did it. They made him. But the question is, who was he? Was he a Stark? But it's commonly believed he was a Stark. But I will say this. There are stories in the Barrows about a curse being on the first king there. And there's a reason that all of the Barrows, the Dustins that live there in Barrowton, look like have corpses. So he could possibly be a Dustin. Or possibly the Night Queen could have been, because the Night Queen was described as a corpse bride.
Uh-huh.
So there's theories around them too. But I know that
Marie said, I think the sun was covered and then the others invaded. The others / White Walkers hate the light. It was already dark when the others invaded Westeros.
Right. They came when the long night came. But the first long night was ushered in when the Bloodstone Emperor and the Amethyst and all that happened.
I noticed you said the first long night.
The
So
first
this
long night.
long night that everybody's waiting for is going to be like another long night?
Yeah, it's happened a couple times.
Huh. Okay. Okay.
And the more that I like have read, and I think it happens more than we think it does, and in smaller bits. Like, okay, how we keep having these long winters popping in and out, it makes me wonder if they're just popping up in certain areas. Okay, because like it says, we've been told that they were asleep and something woke them up. We now know that what woke them up was when Rhaegar got killed on the Trident. That's why they're awake now.
Oh.
When the hammer fell upon the waters, and a new king will rise, and all shall fall before him.
Wow.
That was in Fire and Blood. And
Oh, okay.
and it was like the hammer shall fall upon the dragon or something. But yeah, it was this guy named Hugh Hammer who thought that him becoming a dragon rider meant that he was going to be this new king and be badass or something. And no, he's not. Yeah, he was an idiot. And he was just an idiot. And no, yeah, nobody liked him. He was an idiot. And he was wrong, but that was a prophecy. So we're wondering if that was part of the prophecy now, and the one that got all confused and everything. But it makes perfect sense when you look at it as far as when Rhaegar died and the hammer, Robert's hammer, and he fell. Yeah, but the new king that rose would be the Night King as when he came back. Gray Area actually did a really good video on this maybe a week ago. I don't think quite that long. But yeah, I definitely check it out.
Yeah, Gray Area.
Yeah, because she spelled it, and I read it. When I read it, I had thought the same thing, and then I seen her video, and she just like laid it all out and explained it for just everybody to understand. And I was like, that's just the perfect explanation video for anyone who does not understand it, you know? But yeah,
so are you,
check it out.
So are you. Don't discredit yourself. So are you.
I'm not. But yeah, she does. She did a really good one. I just like to give some nods to people I see that are good too, you know? And let's see. I want to talk about something really quick that I don't think we're going to see that's probably just gone. Just get your hopes down already. And that's Grumpkins and Snarks. We've heard them mentioned early seasons, and I don't think we've heard anything about them since probably season 2, maybe. And it just seems like they talked about them and teased about them, and now they just kind of quit talking because they're not going to give them to us probably. But they were just like cute little creatures, I guess, that lived up north that were mentioned in the story and on the show. And I don't think we will get them in the show. But just a nice little mention to them right there. Now, ice spiders, I think, and I know, Cammy, you've been waiting a long time for ice spiders. Those are part
I sure have. I don't know why. I mean, you know, I just think it would look cool as hell with ice spiders crawling up. Well, what would they crawl up? The wall's been blown to bits.
Yeah, the wall's been gone, but there's other walls for them to crawl over. And I have seen
pictures. See them crawl up the wall, but no, that's not going to happen. So okay,
I've seen.
I want to see some ice spiders. I think it'd be cool.
Well, I think you're going to get them because I've seen pictures for the calendar for 2020 and the art up for them, and it looked amazing. And I do not see them not putting them in this last season because they got to have something. They got to have, you know, some cool mounts or something. Yeah. We've had the bear, so it's time for the spiders. And come on, it's winter. It's winter. Throw them in there.
Yeah.
Marie says, Dan and Dave are too mean to do ice spiders. Well, they're doing like 4 episodes. They're going to show off. You know they're going to show off though. They're down for 4 episodes. They're going to be showing off.
D&D got their white polar bears. Now give us our spiders.
Right?
You know, it's just a toss up with D&D behind it. You know. with GRRM, you kind of know it's not going to end well. That's it. That's all there is to it when it comes to GRRM. But when it's D&D, they're too worried about dramatic effects, for the show. So I don't know.
Okay, and now let's talk a little bit about
sorry,
winter in general. Because, okay, you know who the White Walkers are now. Oh, let me tell you this about the White Walkers, too, because I want to remind you, because we learned this in season 7, so let's keep this in mind.
Okay.
We've seen beyond the wall 2 things. Number 1, when you kill certain of the walkers, the whites will fall. So apparently whatever whites that walker wards will fall because of it. So that's something important that will come up again, all right?
Okay. Yeah.
Like a domino effect. So we're definitely going to want to be going directly for the whites. Something else to keep in mind. Craster said he had 99 sons. So that should mean we had 99 walkers to start with. Sam killed one.
Excuse me. I've heard that too. I've heard about the 99 sons thing.
Right. Sam killed one. John killed one. We're down 2. 97. What other one? Was there another one killed? I can't think of another one. No, they killed another one. Yeah, they killed another one beyond the wall. 3. So we're down 3. So we're down to 96.
That's not me sneezing in the background, by the way, y'all. Somebody in the chat said,
that was Brandon.
I know. Somebody in the chat said, you're blowing your nose on air. And I was like, that's her husband, Brandon.
Oh, yeah. The White Walkers made wildlings, creating half-human children from old man. That makes me think of the Dustins right there because of the how they look half corpsey, and wonder if they're the ones, and maybe that is their curse.
Wow.
Yeah, John killed 2, Sam 1.
Marie knows.
Oh, yeah, she does. I love talking to Marie. Connie, too. Both of them. They get going.
Everybody
yes!
in here. Al, bro.
Yes. I love it. I love it.
I do, too. I love all my fans and all of Game of Thrones community.
Me, too.
All you readers, I just love it.
And, okay, so let's talk a little about winter and what's going to happen in general, okay?
Okay, yes. Let's talk about winter.
I want to talk about Winterfell for a moment, okay?
Okay.
There's some kind of interesting stuff and cool stuff's going to happen. Now, we know that we have Wintertown right outside of Winterfell.
Okay.
They'll probably have the people from there come into the castle. That'd be smart. That'd be my guess. I hope they do that just for their sake, because otherwise the people are dead. But we do have that little town out there, so keep that in mind. Let's also keep in mind we just had that giant battle, 2 giant battles, Stannis against Bolton's, and then we had the Battle of the Bastards. Were the bodies burned? What happened to all them bodies? Now, I know Jon Snow would be smart enough to burn the bodies. And the wildlings would. To Battle of the Bastard, I'm not so concerned about those bodies. But what about all the other ones?
Yeah.
So, all these corpses, what are happening to them?
Right, okay.
Did they just take them to bury their dead?
I mean, hold that thought. Let me just say something real quick, since I am a show-only fan. What is going to become of Hodor? Nobody burned his body.
Yeah. You can pretty much assume that he has been turned.
We're going to see Hodor as a white, you think? Probably not. We got to remember, there's only 6 episodes, so.
Yeah.
Okay, go ahead. Keep going with, sorry.
Yeah, no, you're right.
So you were talking about the corpses and what's going to come of them, or continue where you were.
I was giggling over here at Eduardo and Al.
Yeah,
You seen that? Okay.
of course I've seen it. I'm in the chat with
He
them.
knows nothing. I know he knows nothing. You're right. My favorite ones.
Jon Snow and Cammy O knows nothing, but I'm learning.
Oh.
Cammy O trying to learn something tonight.
Now, here's something interesting though.
The blood. What is it? Blood. What? Darn, I forgot.
Bloodstone Emperor?
Huh?
Bloodstone Emperor?
No, the blood. If somebody betrays somebody in their bloodline, it's going to be the
blood betrayal.
Blood betrayal. Blood betrayal. Okay, I got to remember that. I got to write that down. Blood betrayal. Okay, I wrote it down.
Okay, Hodor is white. Bran needs to say to him, snap out of that dumb I am the three-eyed bullshit. Yeah, he does.
Brooke said,
wouldn't he come over there and say Hodor? But he would understand. He'd know.
Brooke said Hodor is a white. Bran needs to see him to snap out of that dumb I am the three-eyed bull. He meant bullshit.
Oh, I said it for him. I said it for him. I knew what he meant.
I'll say it.
Oh, thank you, always. Okay, so now with winter, we're going to have snows that will go up to the castle walls, if not over. Now, we've seen these whites flop over walls, so we already know they're going to be able to get over Winterfell walls. Those walls are not going to be any defense.
Okay.
So the only real defense that I see, now we know that there's magic in the walls too, though. But I think with Brandon having that little key on his arm, that's not going to help the walls. The magic in the walls is not going to help anything. I think the only place
magic at the base of the wall, but now it's been blown to bits. So
no, I'm talking Winterfell. I'm talking at Winterfell now. So, but Bran's got the mark on him, so I don't think that would help them at all. So I think at this point, the only place that is any protection in Winterfell would be the crypts. Now, there is ways out of the crypts, but the question is, have they found them yet? There was someone that talked about the Maester Lewin. Maester Lewin offered to tell Theon the back way out of there that was for the wards. He tried to get him to use it to run out of there and go to the Night's Watch and join the Night's Watch whenever all the stuff was going on during the Prince of Winterfell time there. He's like, please, you're in a lot of trouble. Just run out the back. I can show you the way out. So there is a secret way out. So hopefully, but does anyone even know it now? So that's a big question. And then there's the big question of all the Winter Kings. Hi, Sanchi. Nice to see you.
Sanchez, you missed it. We started out by talking about the long night. I wanted Ree to explain to me what the hell the long night even is. And she did a great job. So you missed a lot. But thank you for being here, Sanchez. You can always rewatch it. I hope you do. Okay, so.
All right. Now we're talking about Winterfell at the moment. So, yeah. So we've got all these Winter Kings that, with their swords, most of them got their swords, not everybody now. And we have Ned Stark, Lyanna, Brandon Stark, Robb. We have Robb.
Right,
and all these dire wolves, too, are down in the crypts. We have the old Kings of Winter. We have Cregan Stark, however the hell you say his name. I call him Cregan. I keep hearing, when I do my audiobooks, sometimes they say different, and it screws me up. And I'm like, okay. So we've got just all these really badass Starks down there and some really, like, hardcore men, right? And they're dire wolves. Yeah, they're dire wolves. And they all got their swords across their laps. Some of their swords are rusted so far away and so far gone that their spirits are wandering the castle. It's mentioned, right?
Okay.
Now, the big idea is that these Stone Kings are going to rise.
The what's going to rise?
The Stone Kings are going to rise.
Okay.
When and what and who for are they going to rise? Are they going to rise to defend Winterfell? Will we see them rise? Is this even going to come up on the show is a big question.
Yes. 6 episodes. 6 episodes. This, you know.
Now, how crazy. Now, all right. I've watched this show so many times.
And read the book so
And
many times.
I know.
So many
We're
times.
in
Y'all,
so many
she's already read
videos.
Fire and Blood 3 times.
And so many videos. Like, yeah, just so many videos. And yeah, I was listening to Fire and Blood last night too, and this morning.
Marie said the old kings of winter.
Yeah, the old Kings of Winter. And I really think that we're going to see them.
You think?
Yeah, it's been kind of played with a lot.
Wow. That would be awesome.
Yeah, I do. I think in some way, shape, or form. And I know this sounds crazy, and I know people are like, oh, you know, that's just wishing and dreaming, but I would not be surprised if we do see Ned at least.
There's a host named Fire and Blood. I like him. Some people
Oh
don't.
yeah, I know. I won't watch him right now because he does too many things. He's my one I'm staying away from this year.
Well, he did a video. I sent it to you. He did a video the other day about Ned coming back.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. I'm one of those that Ned is dead. Let it go.
Well,
but,
see, that's how I've always been. But this is the case and scenario where Ned, Rob even, and we might not see them all. We might not see them all. Or we might not all see them in the same condition, let's say.
Yeah.
But, and Catelyn's not there. Let's keep that in mind, okay? So Catelyn is not in this equation. Sorry. Not her.
Good.
But I feel like that we're unresolved there.
Well, Brooke said probably a flashback of young Ned.
Oh, yeah. No. Okay. I think we're going to get her and all. The tourney. In some way, maybe not the entire tourney, but there's got to be some flashback to there. So, yeah, no, we're not done with young Ned. We're not. But I'm talking in relation to the fact that we spent so much time in the crypts. We've had, the next time I see you, I'll talk to you from Benjen, from Ned, and it's just left unresolved issues. We have Bran, who can see everything now, and we know that in the books he's seen his father cleaning his sword. We know that they've talked about how the statue doesn't look like him, you know. It's just little drops and hints, and it just feels like it's unfinished with him. And I'll tell you what, I've seen Sean Bean popping up here and there a lot lately. And talking randomly about Game of Thrones, and I don't know if you guys have been seeing it, but he's just like, oh yeah, no, I watched Game of Thrones. And it's just little quirky interviews here and there, and it's all of a sudden to me. Like, you know, it's like he ain't been talking about it for years, and just all of a sudden I'm starting to see Sean Bean more. And it's got me kind of curious about it. But them crypts, there's a lot of mystery around them crypts. And why do we keep going back there? It's not just about Lyanna's statue. We've already confirmed. We know. We don't even need that statue for nothing anymore because Bran has already cleared up that air. So what does the statue even mean anymore for us, right? It's got to be more. It might just be his ghost. We might see the ghost of Ned, but it's got to be something. But I feel like we're going to get the Kings. And when Robert and Ned first went down there, they're talking about the Kings. They're talking about Rickard. They're talking about Brandon. Anybody else notice we've never seen Brandon? We have flashback when Ned's younger and when Lyanna comes riding around, we don't see Brandon. We've never seen Brandon. They talk about him all the time. Brandon's got to come up in this. Brandon Stark. Nice little mention. Nice little mention while we're talking about Winterfell. Prince of Winterfell episode when Theon is standing there and Yara rides in. She circles around him exactly like Lyanna did when Lyanna rode into the courtyard. Just a little nice little parallel for y'all there. And G.R.R. Martin wanted to include a young Benjen and Lyanna fighting scene. I wonder why. What's important about that? That is a good point too.
Marie always has a good point.
Yeah. Maybe to show just how she was fighting too, like her fighting skills.
Oh my God, did you hear that?
Yeah. What was that?
Boom. Boom, boom, boom. It's been fireworks for the past 2 days. It's like, oh my God, come on, people.
Oh, they're still doing it, yeah.
But anyway.
Okay, so let's see what else we have going on at Warcraft. So, okay, what kind of questions do you have? While we're at Winterfell and winter stuff going on. Okay, because the winter's here. We know winter is here. It's gonna get cold. It's not dark yet, so we still gotta wait for the night. Yeah, we still gotta wait for the blood betrayal for the night to begin.
It's gonna get dark. Like really dark, right? Okay.
We just haven't had that happen yet.
I know, Marie, I saw you and Connie talking theories this morning. It was very interesting. I may not always jump in and say something, but I'll be reading what everybody's saying and learning.
And the blood betrayal. Oh, I'm sorry. The blood betrayal could be as simple as where Cersei's not lied and said she was sending the troops and not.
Oh.
I don't think the Night Queen is at Winterfell either. Now, Cammy, what do you know about the Night Queen? Huh?
Is there going to be a Night Queen? Are we going to see a Night Queen?
Okay. Now, there's different ideas as far as Night Queen goes. Like, in World of Ice and Fire, it kind of hints at that there might be a Night Queen hidden over in the Shivering Sea, way far up, over north of Essos, way up there, kind of. But I'm not so sure about that. And it's just how it's kind of worded. It kind of makes you think that she over there, you know?
Right.
But then it also makes me wonder, honestly, who I think it is.
That's what I was just going to say. That's my big question. Who is the Night's Queen?
The obvious answer to me is the Moon Goddess. And I tell you why. Our Moon Goddess is Dany, first of all, because she's already been referred to as the Moon Goddess in season 1. In the tent where I was talking to you about the Dothraki legend, where the moon is the goddess, the wife to the sun. Moon, the Carthian legend, where the moon got too close to the sun and the dragons were born. Okay? I'll get right to your question in just a minute, Sanchez, okay? But with her being the Moon Goddess. And then in the book, she has a lot of dreams about Dario, and she talks about how she wishes the night could go on forever. And his member being ice cold, and she enjoys it. She's dreaming about him and having sex with him with the ice cold member. And yeah, so it's just a lot of little things like that that really kind of leans towards her being the Night Queen. And I know a lot of people are like, no, screw Dany, I don't want her to be it, blah, 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 blah. But I kind of think that she is meant to be his.
Yeah,
And then if you look at the House of the Undying, I think when she went into the House of the Undying, if you read it in the books, and I wish that you guys would do this for me. Next time, just you feel like sitting down and reading something, go back and read the House of the Undying chapter and just pay attention to the description of the Undying. They are described a lot like the whites. They have the blue eyes, they have the tattered clothes. They breathe like in whispers on breath like they're barely alive. And just the eeriness and the blues and the colors, is just like there are others. And I think that's who she's with. I think she's with elder others.
Marie said, will it take a green seer's blood to wake the Night King? Queen, I mean, hence Night King is at the Ren. That's another thing, green seers, that I don't know much about. So some other stream, we're going to have to touch base on green seers.
Oh, yes, we will get into all that.
Nothing about them.
And that's a good question. Maybe they need the green seer blood to
wake the
Night King. I don't know. That's a good question. Or maybe break his curse. I don't know. That's a good question. All right, Sanchez, question. What do you think about a ring of fire set around Winterfell to keep the whites out since they die from fire? It would keep the whites out, but it would not keep the White Walkers out.
Because there's a difference. And that's something else I just learned, that there's a difference between the whites and the White Walkers.
Yeah.
I never knew that until you told me.
Yeah. And you'll notice the difference. They're like the more general ones, the ones that are usually like the horsemen, the 4 horsemen looking guys that you see hanging out with the Night King. Those are the walkers. And then the whites are always the zombie looking red shirt guys. But the disposable ones that just go in there and fall all over the place. Yeah, we do not know enough about the others. I wish we did. The only thing about that, what is going to be the whole point about the last Green Seer and Bran, and what is his whole role? Maybe we'll talk about that one next, because I'd like to talk about that and the God's Eye and the Green Man and all that. Yeah, and Blood Raven, all that. We'll do that one next. How about that, guys?
All right.
And okay, so what else do we have going on winter? Let's bring up the fact of ice dragons, okay? Because we have the Viserion now, and he got changed, and we know that it is blue flame that he is blowing out. That's been confirmed. Now, the blue flame is the hottest part of the flame. You look at fire, if you know anything about fire, you know the blue part is the hottest. So we already know that his flame is going to be hotter than the other dragon.
Uh-huh. Mm-hmm. I agree with that. That blue flame, you just looking at it, the blue part of any flame is the hottest. So
right.
Yeah.
Uh-huh. And Marie Blood Raven fascinates me too. I love Blood Raven. I love. And then we do have in the world, and they are mentioned in the stories, but they're mentioned as being seen in the Shivering Sea. There are ice dragons. Ice dragons literally can go, and you're frozen to death. That's it. They're gone. Just that fast. Their breath is that cold. And there is a really short story called The Ice Dragon. It's really good. Emma loves it. It's one of her favorite stories. And it's an audio. It's a really short audio. It's about a little girl named Adira, and she was actually born touched by winter. She's a winter child, and she can ride the ice dragon because she's so cold.
Oh,
and yeah, because she's so cold.
Wow.
It's like she is an oven. So
you think the Night's King will ride the ice dragon?
Well, he's riding Viserion. But the kind of interesting thing about Adira is because of the way her skin is, it brings into question about did her mother breed with another or her bloodline, what is her bloodline and stuff like that, to where she's able to ride, because her skin is that cold that she can get on it and she doesn't melt the dragon. Because at the end of the story, her heart finally warms and then she does actually melt the dragon. Okay. And then there's all these theories that that ice dragon that melted is actually the pool at Winterfell in front of the werewood. I've heard that too as a theory.
Well,
but the reason I bring this up to you now, we have not seen ice dragons in this at all, but they have been mentioned. So it's just the reason I think that the bloodline part of it, that the little girl could do that, should make us think about like Craster's kids. And Craster's kids are possibly Stark and Targaryen.
Really?
I think that's what most people. Yeah, I think that's what most people think that they are. Yeah, they're either Aemon or Bloodraven's bastards with someone with probably Stark blood in them.
Hal Sanchez and Marie are talking some interesting stuff about Bran. Hal Sanchez said, but Bran is just the person I'm stuck on trying to figure out. He definitely is the strongest green seer warg skin changer. He's more than Bloodraven for sure. And then he said, Bloodraven says, stay too long in a vision and you will never come back. I think Bran can do more than Bloodraven could in past visions.
There's a possibility too that Bran could actually try to go into the Night King and he gets stuck there.
Okay. I've heard that. Now we're talking. I want to see Bran warg something. He's got the power. I'd like to see him warg the ice dragon.
Yeah.
Maybe fly it into a wall and kill it.
Well, they're not even calling him an ice dragon. What are they calling him? Just undead, I think. Undead with Sirion?
I think they're calling it a white dragon.
Oh, no? White dragon. That's it. So he's a white dragon.
Oh, my God. Yeah. Something correct. Woohoo! What does she want?
Yeah, no, that was correct.
What does she want, Johnny?
I wanted to go look on my thing where I got my little one ordered, my little Titan ordered. What they call him, but no, it's a white dragon. But yeah, I knew, because they were trying very carefully not to call it an ice dragon because they didn't want to get confused. Because they're like, no, he's not an ice dragon. But
I know what you're talking about.
Right, but that whole story right there just brought up a lot of questions as to, bloodlines and everything else too, because of that little girl. But she lived in the Riverlands. Just interesting. Like, if you look at it, she lived in the Riverlands. But that's an interesting story. There were dragon lords and everything, and it probably took place long before these stories ever did because of what was going on. But it's a good little story just to check out anyways. So a little bit back where we were talking now. Okay. We've seen that. Oh, I know what to bring up. Okay. Something in Fire and Blood that was mentioned is something called the Shivers. And
I've heard of that.
Yep, I brought this up with you. There was a sickness called the Shivers. Yeah, we're talking about winter and Winterfell. Yeah, this is all kind of going together.
Like people died of the shivers, right?
Yeah. But it came with winter. It was during winter. This is just something that is in Fire and Blood, yeah. But the reason I mentioned this is because it came with winter, and it was called the Shivers. And it was the only thing that has ever killed a Targaryen that we know of.
Wow.
They've never been sick from any illness.
Really?
And a Targaryen princess died from it. And I believe it was Daenerys.
Huh.
believe her name was Daenerys. So, fire cannot kill a dragon, but apparently ice can. Why is this important? Why am I bringing this up? Okay. I'm not bringing it up about Danny. Okay. I'm bringing this up about Jon. This is why fire and ice is so important, because Jon is both.
Right.
Jon needs to be both because that makes him immune. This
both
is why the
he's
pact.
a Stark and a Targaryen.
Right. He needed that immunity. This happened during Jaehaerys, the old king's reign. Okay?
Uh-huh.
It was his daughter. So the pact that happened between Cregan and Jace, and Jace actually ended up marrying his sister, which was a Snow, and then made a pact for his daughter to marry Cregan's son, but he never had the daughter, so it was an unfulfilled pact where a Targaryen princess was to marry a Stark. Okay?
Uh-huh.
And that was the pact of fire and ice, or ice and fire, whichever way.
Uh-huh.
And this would have stopped the shivers from happening, because then they would have had their immunity. That being important, now think about it. The Starks know that winter is coming, right?
Uh-huh.
Now they need that fire blood in there, but for protect the Targaryen side of it, they need that ice immunity. So it's kind of important on both sides, because they need the fire to defeat the ice, but they need the ice to protect them. You know? So that's why the shivers is important to us. Now we have Jon. He is ice and fire.
Right.
Daenerys, we know, is fire, but the question is, does she have any ice in her? I know there's the people out there that think that she possibly is Ned's daughter.
Oh.
There are those people with that theory. So if that is true, then maybe she will be. If not, then yes, we really will lose Daenerys.
Bye-bye, Danny. I won't shed any tears over that one.
Well, I think Daenerys is meant to die anyways, because she's meant to be reunited with Khal Drogo. Because we've had all the prophecies fulfilled with the sun setting in the east and rising in the west, and we're going to have the seas are going to run dry because they're already freezing over. So, you know, all that Mirri Maz-Duur had said is passing and happening. So, yeah, that's your one guarantee is expect to see Drogo this season. Yeah. Ned must be well back.
Marie.
So Winterfell's just going to be jumping. There's a lot that's going on there, and something else I want to bring up before we get too much on Winterfell, where we were talking about the Night King and what's going on with the White Walkers and all. Okay, something else we learned from Beyond the Wall, in addition to that, when you kill a White Walker, that they fall down. We learned that when the Whites screamed, that the daddy and the rest of them came running, right?
Uh-huh.
Now, they took a White down to King's Landing. It screamed. So, wouldn't it make the most sense that they would all come running to where it screamed?
It does to me.
That's what happened in Beyond the Wall. So, to me, it's like a beacon. Like, okay, I'm here. Shoot off a little thing and flare, and that's where they're going to. So, I think that's where they would go to.
Yep.
And the fact it's called King's Landing, I go to the names a lot too.
Yeah.
So it just, to me, it seems like it would be fair that's where they would go. Now, when they
I never thought about that. That's cool.
Yeah, they're going to go where they were called to. Why would they need to go to Winterfell? If winter has already fell there before, why would they be in a hurry to go back there?
And why would they?
Right. And if he needs to go to the God's Eye, he could just go to the God's Eye from there.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's just kind of more what I'm thinking. I think the screams are more like a call, a beacon for it, you know. So, now what are you thinking? You got any questions, real quick, about anything I've said or anything you wondered?
I'm just listening and learning. I mean, you pretty much answered my question in the beginning, and in the all in the in between.
Okay.
I'm,
Well,
I'm
Milf's got a question.
yeah, I was gonna say I'm checking out the questions from the chat.
Okay.
Oh, that's back. Yeah,
Yeah,
read.
Milf says. Yeah. Okay. Sorry.
Go ahead. Go ahead.
Why did all the whites except for the lone one they captured die when they killed the White Walker? Pretty convenient. Yeah, I think he was planted there.
You think
I
what?
do. I think he
You
was
think
planted
what?
there. I think he
Planted?
planted them. Yeah. He
Oh.
was bait. He was bait. Why else would they leave one? Just one. Come on. They sent him on up there. He was bait. They're trying to get there. That's their way. That's their way over there.
Huh.
And then they can find their way. Once he gets to wherever he's going, then he sends off that scream, and that's how they find their way to where they're going. Exactly, just like that. Like it just showed us, with that scream. Yeah, that is a better reason. They are stupid.
I wrote reading Milt because Dumb and Dumber are stupid. That's a better reason. And so are the Starks. I'm sorry. The Starks are idiots. I'm sorry, Stark fans.
Now, I think the Isle of Faces makes its debut in season 8 along with Howland. I think so too. We have to see the Isle of Faces. And we have to see Howland because that's just been a big tease. And I don't want to see Howland in a flashback. I want to see Howland now. And Mira went home.
Howland Reed?
Yeah.
Hey, I know something.
Yeah. And Mira went home to be with her family and get ready for the long night. She even said that. So she should be with her father now. Prince Darwin from the Stag to warn his father not to go south. His future Grand messing with present Grand.
Oh, that's a thinker.
Or to get him to go south to set things in motion. Because everything has to be set in motion. Everything's for a reason. They need things to play out the way they were. That's why he's not going to be mad at Jamie, because if it wasn't for Jamie pushing him out the window, then he wouldn't have ended up like he did. Everything has to happen for a reason.
Everything has to come full circle, basically.
Right.
Bran has to go there. Winterfell will fall.
Yeah, I think. Yeah, and I think Winterfell will fall. But I definitely do. But I don't think it's going to be like we think.
Well, how do you think it's going to be?
Well, I don't think it's like, I think everybody thinks that it's going to be like straight to Winterfell and that's going to be all it is,
Uh-huh.
Like, oh, that's going to be where the big battle is and that's it. That's the only place the Night King's going and that's all he's worried about. He's just headed straight to Winterfell and the hell with everything else. I don't think it's going to be like that.
Now, to me, King's Landing is more important than Winterfell. Am I wrong there?
It depends what his goals are. We don't know what he's after.
Yeah.
Now, we know that we're going to see new place, but at least I think it's one new place. I don't know how many points. I've been trying to stay away from spoilers. I just don't really want to know. Like I said before, I watched Royce and I watched Val, and that's as far as I'm going into spoilers.
Well, Marie said it will because the Starks forgot, as Jor said earlier, the North has forgotten.
Yeah, the North has forgotten a lot. Bless their hearts. Yeah.
Bless their hearts, you said.
Yeah.
I don't know what that means.
Yeah, no, I think we're definitely going to the Isle of Faces. Something curious I was wondering about the Isle of Faces, what are they guarding? Because I feel more like they're keeping something in as opposed or keeping something in as to trying to keep people. I'm going to say this backwards now because I'm going to confuse myself. They're trying to, instead of protecting something, they're trying to keep people out of there for something. Yeah. I probably said that backwards still. They're guarding something rather than protecting it. There we go.
That makes sense.
I was like, I'm going to figure out how to say it right. Give me a second. The Watchers, the faces I think are the Watchers is what's going on. If you know about the Watchers, then you'll understand me. But I think they're facing the wrong way. I think they're facing out, like they're guarding instead of protecting. Oh, and if any of you guys have looked in Banger's chat, on the Fist of the First Men, there was that big old stone that the dragon glass and all was under. And I took a picture of it, I put it in there, and I was looking, and it kind of looks like it could be the Isle of Faces with the trees on the one side if you turn it, and then the Isle, and then the way that the water goes around it, or the shore on the other side. Or it could kind of look like it's Old Town with the high tower in the middle and city walls and all around it. It kind of looks like a couple things. So it's just kind of interesting to look at and kind of guess, but it would make sense for it to be the Isle of Faces. And yes, I think Howland Reed will be setting at the Isle of Faces already when they get there. I think he'll be waiting for Bran. And I want to see the Green Men there. I really do. I think they'll be awesome to be there. And they're all a part of winter, and it's a big deal because they're the ones that will be able to stop winter. I think those are going to be the Green Men. I think are Green Seers, honestly. I think they're the last Green Seers around. I mean, we call Bran the last Green Seer, but I think he's the last one to be born, basically, and that's why they're calling him that. I think the Green Men that are on the Isle of Faces are probably what's left of the other ones that have existed, that are there to protect the Isle or something. And I hope we see them. I really do. Because why would they be called Green Men? Wouldn't that make sense to call it Green Seer or Green Men?
Right. But I agree with you. I've heard too much about the Isle of Faces for it not to be shown. Because as a show-only fan, I never knew about the Isle of Faces. I learned all about that from you book readers.
Right. Same with Harrenhal. Harrenhal will be there too. But we're getting a little off topic with Winter and White Walkers there, though.
What about Summerhall? Are Summerhall and Harrenhal? What about
honey? We ain't even gonna get into Summerhall today. That's a whole nother time because I will talk a long time about that one. Summerhall is one of my things. Yeah, I love Summerhall.
There are so many things we can stream about, and we're gonna.
Yeah.
We are. If y'all are game, we're game.
Yeah, I love this stuff. Oh, let me bring up a little bit about the dragon glass because you were asking me about that before.
Yes, I was. Because you were talking about colors and stuff. You were talking about blue dragon glass and rainbow dragon glass, and you were saying how each one relates to this and that. So yeah. Because that was interesting. That's what you're talking about in the other stream when, you know.
Yeah. I found my little notes here. This is where, like, this is from like a couple of years ago, and I just like was looking up different. It came down to just different magical properties and different types of stones and everything. Like, I've got stuff on rubies and stuff too. There's all kinds of stuff in here, but I'm just gonna tell you a few little cool things about just obsidian in general. Now, for one, you know, it's called black ice.
I've heard a lot about black ice.
Yeah, and it is called black ice, and we've heard that before. We've heard that before in the book. Book readers have heard black ice. Now, when we think of black ice in general, I know people like think about like on the road when you're driving and you hit that black ice and then you go swerving.
Yeah.
Yeah. But you hear about it in the books too, because you hear about it concerning armor, and you hear about it when they're talking about Ned's sword. But okay, so we know it is everybody knows what obsidian is, what dragon glass is, the volcanic glass. It's made from lava and then it forms glass, right? Okay. It's just to give you a little thing. It's rich in feldspar and quartz that cools too rapidly for crystals to form. Sometimes you get other things in there too. For as far as your healing properties, it's related to digestive, muscles, helps relieve pain, and combat bacterial infections. The reason I wanted to mention that is because I thought about the grayscale. And yeah, I got some notes too. I feel you, girl. And it does. It goes from volcanoes and Dragonstone. That's why there's so much there. That's why there was so much up at Hardhome too. That's how we know there was volcanoes there in eruption. All the lava tubes in Hardhome. But the bacterial infections, that's what I thought about, and I think that's probably a lot to do with how Sam cured Jorah's grayscale right there. It probably required, like, he probably had something to do with some obsidian, like ground up obsidian or something used in it, because it is used for bacterial infections. And if you look at Jorah, that looked really nasty and infected. Now, for the mind, it helps to clear the unconscious blocks, buried emotions, to bring issues to the surface before they get out of control. Now, the reason that's kind of important is because when you think about that they're doing all the warging and how much he's warging and stuff like that, when he's cut that dragon glass in him, that's kind of amping his powers up a lot, right? So that's kind of why I wanted to bring that up. It's a protective stone that guards against negativity, all right? And physical attacks. Blades can be used in ritual to cut and one of links between people. Okay, y'all hear that, right?
We're hearing you.
No, that was kind of like a little thing. In ritual, blades can be used to cut and one of the links between people. That's kind of important. That might come up in the show or the books, because one of the links between people, the Night King, and it has a link with Bran right now by that touch, right? So the obsidian can be used in a way to cut that link and sever the tie between them. Remember, Sam has all these big books about all the different cures and stuff with all the dragon glass too. Now, even the arrowheads, if you put 4 arrowheads around the home, pointed in the cardinal directions, it's used for protection. So whether or not they're going to figure that part out, I don't know, or if it's even going to come in on the show. But that's something else that was kind of cool there. Yes. No, it does. It really does. I swear it. This is all based on magical stuff, okay? And yeah, no, Eduardo, really, that's what it says. Now, cleaning in. Oh no, not that one. Okay, never mind. I skipped that part. Hang on. Now I'm gonna tell you about some different types. Okay, there's snowflake obsidian. And Eduardo, I have no idea how it does it, but it does it. It is in this world. Snowflake obsidian. Now that one, and I actually have one over there somewhere. And they're black and they have like little white bursts in them of quartz. And it looks like little snowflakes all through them. And I call it my Jon Snow crystal. Because that's exactly what it is. And when you think about it, that is Jon Snow because it is snow and dragon glass. So it's kind of like my own little inside joke about that one.
Oh, it makes sense though.
Right. So they're black with white snowflake crystals formed within the stone, you know. But the little description about them I want to read because it's kind of funny. Just when you think about Jon Snow, it's useful for bringing things to the surface, emotions, secrets, anything hidden that needs to be revealed. So just that little thing about secrets and anything hidden that needs to be revealed and his little secret parentage, you know. So that was kind of a little funny there. Helps maintain grounding and a sense of balance even during times of stress brought about by change. But it just kind of fit him really good. There's fire obsidian. It really is it's beautiful. It's very iridescent. It's got tiny crystals of magnetite. These are very protective ones. Help banish negativity while drawing joy into your life. Used to enhance clairvoyance. This is the one that I think of Daenerys with, right?
Okay.
Yes. All of this stuff right here, everything. Let me tell you the research I did. This is the research that I did on, like, these are like magical properties of the stones, because this is a fantasy. It's a fantasy series. So when I did all my research on this, I looked up all the magical properties. So that's how it is. And so that's what I'm looking at here is magical properties of it. So it'd be magical and healing and stuff like that. Not just basic geology on it. I can do that too if you want, but I'm not going to. I'll leave the basic stuff to Milt. He's better at that. But it's kind of interesting because with that one, because it's just the whole protective vibe I like with that one as far as relating it to Daenerys, because of the whole mother thing and the freeing of the slaves and the whole fiery part of it, you know? There's one called Rainbow Obsidian, which is black with crystals that give it just like a little iridescent look to it that makes it look like rainbow. It's just it's used to banish negativity and draw joy into your life. It's just supposed to be a happy like crystal, right? Happy like stone, not really crystal. But this one reminded me of Renly and his Rainbow Guard. And he does have dragon blood. And yeah, see? Milt knows. And but I thought about it, the Rainbow Guard and just his general personality, and it fits him very well. But Renly does have dragon blood in him. His grandmother was a Targaryen. And yes, it is fantasy. Now, and then there's the mahogany obsidian, which has swirls of brown and black in it. And it's just, there was I think it was one of Aegon the Fourth. Well, there was, what was it? The Black Pearl was her name?
I don't know, but I want to know.
Yeah, I'm looking to chat for this one. There was a Targaryen princess up there. Had a daughter with the Black Pearl. think it was Aegon the Fourth, had a daughter with a black pearl. And this one kind of reminded me of her. And that was pretty much it. But there's one called Apache Tears too, but that one's not really anything in here. But it was just really interesting. There we go. There's Red Witch. How you doing? See, now she shows up. We just was talking about magical properties, and then she comes in.
Hi, Red. Welcome.
And yeah.
Then we were talking about Dragon Glass. Perfect entrance. Happy New Year to you too, sweetie. Okay, so continue, Ree.
Eduardo. I was reading what Eduardo said. Yeah, it is magic. It's okay. No, yeah, I was doing all the magical properties. Yeah, I did it, and I actually have it on a lot of stuff. I've done everything from rubies to the trees and animals and all sorts of stuff. And I'll do some other stuff for you guys later too, because there's some really cool stuff. But yeah, and I've done a lot of. I'll tell y'all some stuff about rubies another time, because that is some really cool stuff too, and crows and ravens and everything.
Okay.
Yeah. Oh yeah. It will get your attention, I promise. But now, so the reason I wanted to tell you guys about all the different obsidians is because, yes, we have all kinds of different obsidians in the show too. And the reason they're important is because we have all kinds of different Targaryens. Right? Okay, I know Renly's not in it no more. But we still have Daenerys. We have Jon. But what you don't realize is we have a lot of Targaryen blood in our characters that are still around too. So, okay, all right. We all know that, all right, there's a big question mark around if Jaime and Cersei is really Targaryen, or, okay, is Tyrion really a Targaryen? And we may never even know those. But even aside from those, there's still other ones that possibly do from generations back. Okay? Gendry. Gendry does automatically because his great-grandmother, Robert's grandmother. So he's got some. Okay? I guess, well, no, that wouldn't be it. I was going to say, I guess the Starks don't because of the one sister. Now, here's a good question that I put to you guys. If the Stark, no, I ain't even going to bring that up right now. That'll save for later. Okay.
Nope, not going to bring that up right now.
Yeah, because that'll just send it sideways. Yeah, it'll send it sideways and go just all wrong. So now.
Yeah.
I think I did. Save it for later. But yeah, and there's so many more. There's green obsidians who I ain't even touched on. But all of them have healing properties and protection properties and stuff like that. It's not just one or the other. But it's just kind of odd that they all can relate to different people too. And I don't see one that relates to just the Night King. So I don't see how it can be exclusive to him or healing him. So yeah, I don't know. I don't think that that's good. I think it just kind of shows us that he's got the blood in him now, that maybe he is Stark and Targaryen too. Which, I mean, and I've talked about this before to some people about, I kind of think that the origins of both Starks and Targaryens come from the same place. You know?
I've heard that too.
Yeah. I'll talk to you about it.
Yeah. That's where I heard it.
Yeah, that's that whole milk water thing again, Cammy. Hey, Terry, how you doing?
Hi, Terry.
We'll see where the dragon glass goes. Yeah, we'll see where the dragon glass goes. Yeah, Cammy was wanting me to talk about that one. So, but okay, let's go back to. Do we have anything else we want to bring up at Winterfell, Cammy? I'd like to bring up something.
Sanchez talking about Winterfell for real.
Sanchez, what?
He likes talking about Winterfell.
Oh, I love talking about Winterfell too. I'd like to bring up something a little north of Winterfell. Oh, hang on. Any ideas of what type of obsidian that was pushed into the dude's heart before he became the Night King? Um, honestly, it just looked like plain black obsidian to me. It didn't look like any special one at all. And there is just plain black obsidian.
It looks
I
blue
wish
to
it.
me. I guess I need to rewatch it.
Yeah, it didn't look like it was anything special. I know I kept looking, I was like, if I wanted there to be like the little snowflake burst in it. I was like, please be. But it just
Okay,
doesn't look like it's anything.
is obsidian dragon glass?
Yeah, same thing.
Okay. Okay. I'm learning so much tonight. The others equals the whites. Or wait. Or the others equals white walkers. Which is it?
White Walkers.
Okay. The others equals white walkers and obsidian equals dragon glass.
It was an anti-healing kind, he said. Well, it was a magical kind, that's for sure. Maybe they were healing him from whatever ailed him. Maybe he was sick or something. They thought he was sick because he was a man. Children of the Forest didn't like men, right? That's crazy. They were little crazy chicks, I'm telling you. I'm not a fan of the Children of the Forest. It's not a secret. Something I want to bring up really quick is the Fist of the First Man again. Because there's definitely a castle there. Because, all right, the way that the Fist of the First Man is described matches one of the towers down at Storm's End. The Drum Tower, I believe. So we know that it's already been confirmed that castles and villages were completely buried and disappeared from the first long night and all, right?
Uh-huh.
And under the snow. We even had old Nan say it, right? That completely 100-foot snow wiped them out. They're gone. So
let me just stop you right there. Hold that thought. We're gonna have to do a stream on Old Nan because that's another person. Is that a person? Old Nan?
Old Nan? You don't remember Old Nan from season 1, that little old lady?
I remember hearing about her, but I've never really known who she is.
Okay, she's the one when Bran was in the bed. She was sitting there knitting, and she's talking about, oh little Lord, when the White Walkers came. Yeah.
When Rob walked in, she was talking to Bran?
Yeah. And trying to scare the shit out of him. Yeah. Oh, we all love Old Nan.
And said, what kind of scary stories is she telling you? That's Old Nan? Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Old Nan knows. Yeah, she knows.
Okay. All this time I was wondering who Old Nan was. I just didn't know her name. I didn't know that was her. Now I know. Yeah, okay. Fair. That's 3 things I've learned. I've learned a lot tonight.
Who she really is another question altogether.
And I love everybody here in the chat. Okay, go back to what you're talking about. I'm sorry. You remember where you were at?
Okay. Yeah. So she tells us that whole cities and castles were buried under 100-foot snows and everything, even. Yeah. Yep. Oh, my sweet summer child. Yep. I love it when she says that. I said that earlier too. So it makes me think that the castle that she's talking about is at the Fist of the First Men. And that's why it looks like a fist sticking up, is because it's that drum tower off the castle. And I'm kind of thinking that might have been the original castle that they were in, or Bran the Builder maybe, or someone of the like. If not Bran the Builder, maybe I think it might have been where Starks originated from, because we don't really know where the Starks came from. They just kind of showed up and took over and came in and started and built Winterfell. Kind of just came in and been badass. So no one really knows where the Starks came from, right? Right. They came into the north and started kicking ass and built Winterfell and then became the King's Winter. Before then, it was the Dustins in Barrowtown.
Well, I get the impression that the old ancestor Starks were a lot more badass than these current Starks.
So they were what?
The old Starks were more badass than these current Starks.
Oh yeah. Well, that's why like everybody wants the old Kings of Winter to rise, because they're like even Ned and John and all them are like, ooh man, they freak me out. So yeah. There's some scary dudes. But then there's the question of whose side would they be on? Would they rise for the Starks and defend Winterfell, or would they rise for the Night King?
Oh.
Yeah, and the Starks kicked out the
Question.
Blackwoods, and they defeated and completely wiped out a few houses, actually. Oh
Huh.
yeah, we'll have to talk about the Starks soon. I'll have to educate you on that too.
Okay.
A little bit of
Because
Stark history.
I'm not a big fan of the current Starks. To me, the current Starks are just stupid.
Oh, we'll go back and I'll teach you some Stark history, and I
My
bet you'll like
favorite
them.
quote, one of my favorite quotes is when the Hound tells Arya, "How many? I just know how things are. How many of you Starks have to be beheaded before you realize it?" I said, I think right then is when I said I love the Hound. You know, that was one of my favorite quotes.
Oh yeah, mine too.
Starks have to be beheaded before you realize it. That's true.
Now, and they talk about the first men coming over, and they talk about the Andals coming over. But if you look real closely in the books, there's mention of the true men. So there was true men there before there ever was first men in Westeros, before they ever stepped foot there. So were the Starks true men?
Were the Starks what?
True men. Were they there before the first men ever stepped foot? We always hear that the Starks have blood of the first men in them, but do they also have blood of the true men?
Huh. Well, there's another there's another word or name I've never heard of. Truman, the true
And
men.
yeah, they're really hard to find. And if you want to look up proof of them, go and look up in the Vale House Shet, whatever, one that sounds like shit, Shet, and it'll say that they used to be kings of the true men. Yeah, I found that a long time ago. I found them and I'm not under House Chat, but I found them and just mention of Truman in the World of Ice and Fire. Harry Truman.
Well, so okay, here we go again. Is there a difference between the Truman and the first men?
Yeah,
Apparently so.
yeah. First men were the first men to come over to Westeros. The first man came over there on the Armadorn. They were the first men to come to Westeros.
Wow.
And that's how they're described. The first men to come to Westeros over the Armadorn. And then later come the Andals. And that's how they're described and how we hear about them.
Whoa. Okay.
The lone wolf, Eduardo says the lone wolf versus the pack. That's their strength. And that's like Robert says in season 1. Cersei, which number's bigger, 1 or 5? She says 5. And he says, no, 1. You got 5 and you got 1. That goes back to the whole pack thing right there.
Oh. Well, are you there? Why'd you stop?
Yep. Oh, nothing. I was reading. I was reading.
Oh, okay.
And now, okay, remember too, we had, okay, this is something interesting. Remember we had where John said that to Arya, when winter comes, we're going to find you frozen with your needle in your hand. So there's going to come the question of if Arya even survives the winter.
Yeah. I mean, I'm not a big Stark fan, however, since the Night King is a Stark and Jon is a Stark, I would like to see the Starks. You know, they're like the
Do you
good
want?
guys. I'm
But do you
not
want
a
their house
Stark.
wiped?
I'm not a Stark fan, but I don't want to see their house wiped out. I would like to see them, I guess, win. I mean, if it comes down to Starks versus Targaryens, I think I'd be more Team Stark. I don't know. I'm Team Night King. So I'm sorry, all you Stark fans. I'm Team Night King because I'm Team GRRM, and I know how he thinks. I know how he thinks.
I know. I
So
always say when someone says, "How's it gonna?" I'm like, "They're all gonna die."
the
I don't. I
God,
don't think it'll be like that though. And he talks about, "Oh, I'm not gonna pull a lost." Okay, well, that would be pulling for a lost. Thank you, BBM. Thanks for coming by.
yeah, bro. Thank you so much.
See, now if they just had the Night King just come in and wipe everybody out, then that just kind of, I don't know. I don't think they'll leave it like that. It's got to have some kind of resolution, you know?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and now we have a lot of them that I think are going to get wiped out. I think there's going to be houses that do become extinct.
Uh-huh.
I'm kind of worried as much as okay. I'm kind of worried about the Lannisters.
Yeah.
And I hate to say that. I hate to say that. I love you, BBO. I hate to say that because I love Cersei and I love Jamie. I even love Tyrion. But I think it's kind of I think it's Cersei's doing, actually. I think she's kind of going to screw up the house just by everything that's happened. You know? I think it is going to make the house fall. We've already lost all the Tyrells. I think there's only how many Targaryens left anyways, you know? There's only how many Starks left. I think all the great houses that we know of now are going to end up falling by Winter's End. And then we're just going to have a very few people left that are going to have to start new. If there are anyone left from the houses, it'll be very few people. Not enough to create houses.
Like Marie said, leave one wolf alive and the sheep are never safe. That was a good quote too.
Yep. Let's see. I'm trying to think.
Oh yeah, Red, you weren't here earlier, but that's exactly what I said, Red, that the Night King is a Stark. His intention isn't to destroy them. Okay. I agree.
Well, and I agree with that too, because that's like Jon says whenever he's looking at him beyond the wall, he says, "You don't understand."
Uh-huh.
So yeah, there's something there, and I don't think the Night King wants to destroy him, but what does he want with them? That's why I don't think he would go to Winterfell. I think he'd go to King's Landing too, because
like I said, to me, the Night King is a Stark, and he is enslaved in this corpse-like body, and he doesn't really want to be that. I mean, I think somebody turned him into that, and I think he needs Bran to go back to his original self. Maybe I've seen too much werewolf movies.
Well, here's the thing. He could be just fine in the life that he is. He might be content being the Night King, but he woke up. They woke up. They woke up when Rhaegar fell. When that happened at the Trident and Robert won, they woke up and they started marching, gathering their army, whatever they were doing. The reason is why? For what purpose? What woke them up? Why did they wake up? For what purpose? What are they after now?
Okay. Mm-hmm.
So what else happened at the same time? That's the time that Jon was born. That's the time that Dany was born. Time that who else was born around then, you know? And what significance does it have, and what does it matter to him? Well, if he was after, say, his queen, okay, well, she was born then. That would make sense. He was waiting for his queen to grow up, and now he's coming after her. That would make sense. He was waiting for Jon to grow up because he needed him for a reason, maybe to take his place. That would make sense. He was waiting for Bran to get to the place where he could be magically prepared for whatever. Who knows?
Well, Red Witch said Night King has looked with seriousness at both Jon and Bran. Plus, Benjen hangs out with him. That's a good point. I mean, that
Yeah.
tripped me out when Benjen showed up and saved John. I was like,
There's
what
no
the hell?
time.
How
Yeah, there's
is
no time.
he riding through all these White Walkers? What the hell?
And Marie says, plus GRM is anti-war, so I can't believe that George would write a book that promotes war as the only solution. I agree. I don't think that war will be the solution. I think it will come down. It has been thrown up too many times. Let's do this the old way, just you and me. And I think that's what it will come down to. It will be settled the old way, just one-on-one.
But who will that one-on-one be? The Night King and John? The Night King and Bran?
Yes. No, Night King and John.
Okay, but I think he needs Bran, or one of them needs Bran. I mean, Bran has to be a part of that scenario in some way.
Maybe all Bran needs to do is just go to the Isle Faces, tap into that werewood net, and figure out how to defeat him. Like, figure out his Achilles heel or something. Who knows? Or maybe to figure out how to stop the winter. Maybe he's got to figure out how to stop the long night or something. Maybe his intention, his job is something completely different.
Oh, okay. Bran's important now.
Yeah, Bran is important. We're going to have to talk about dreams and prophecies another night because there's a lot of Targaryens that had dreams. Yeah, there's a lot of Targaryens that had dreams and prophecies and stuff like that that all play into this. That could be very important. We'll have to talk about that soon too. We're going on 2.5 hours now, so why don't we go ahead and wrap this one up and let's do another one here next couple of days. How's that sound to you?
It sounds great. Okay.
Thank you everybody for coming, and we're going to continue this Acolyte series, so keep on a lookout because I'm going to be teaching Cammy a whole bunch more about this book stuff going on. So she can get ready for season 8 and know what is going on.
Hers learning.
Yep, I'm learning her.
Let me take a moment to say goodbye to everybody, Kenna.
Yes, please do.
Okay, because really I so enjoy, appreciate everybody coming out. Thank you so much for coming, Marie and Sanchez, House Sanchez, and Milt, and Eduardo. And who was here earlier that I'm missing? Broke was here. Yep. And thank you,
Terry T.
Thank you so much, Terry T. Thank you so much, Red Witch, for stopping in. Oh, gosh, I hope I'm not missing anybody. There were some more people here. And Al Red Sox stopped in. Thank you, Al, for coming.
Jen and Carrie.
I just hope I haven't missed anybody. But I just love you all. And thank you so much for coming and hanging out. And we're going to be doing more of these if y'all are game.
As much as I can get her on here, I'm going to get her on here because, it's like
Amanda
we finally did it.
Thank you, Amanda. Thank you, Amanda Kane. We're fixing to have a celebration for Amanda Kane at midnight.
Oh, yeah.
She'll find out. But, this has been fun, Ree.
Yes,
I've learned a lot.
I'm glad. Yeah, Peter Griffin. Thank you, Peter Griffin. He's always fun in streams.
Yes, he does. He really does. And Lady Wolverton came out, and Carrie McDonald. Thank them for coming. And I hope I hope I'm not forgetting anybody. But
anybody else we forgot, we love you too.
This is great that how I can learn about the books without having to read them. This is my way of taking the lazy way out. This is funner.
And what you don't realize is we do this all the time on the phone. We just finally said, you know what? Let's put the headphones on and press the live button.
Yeah,
we just do it on here and include everybody else.
I've got a lot of intelligent bangers and people that aren't bangers just in the Game of Thrones community, but just the people like right here, Milton. We got some smart Marie, Red, everybody. All the bangers have a lot of good theories, and just most of them are book readers. So I said, man, you need to stream because I know these people will know more of what you're talking about than I do.
When she said to me, what is the long night? I was like, oh, Lord. Okay, yeah. There's probably, if you're asking this, I know there's more people that want to know this.
She said, I'm going to do a stream on the long night. And I said, great. I got a question. What the hell is the long night? I don't even know.
So, and that's how we're here. So, yeah, we will be back in the next couple of days with something more for you guys. We love you guys. Send blessings, and we will see you real soon, guys.
Have a great evening, everyone.